First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus. Homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Chengkong. Homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Tupten Tarji. And homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity for the empowerment today. The Vishnu. And Garuda. The great golden winged bird. So Simu, the Tensipi Rinpoche, and all the Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma instructors, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the webcast. And our participating VIPs today are the Law Advisor to the True Buddha Foundation, my sister Jennifer Zhou, the council from Kaohsiung City, Miss Xu. She planned to go for election this year. And I hope that True Buddha disciples in the Kaohsiung area can support our fellow disciple, the council, Miss Xu Hui. The members of the True Buddha School Scholar Groups. And the rep to the council from Tainan City. And the rep to the council from Tainan City, Fu Tainan. The wood sculptor, Mr. Jian. The Sifeng Food Company, the President Law, and that took from Malaysia, Mr. Li Hai-an, Tin Li Qin, and their daughter, Miss Li Qi. And from France, the Da Hong Publishing Company, Miss Sandra Fang. Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do?
Selamat siang, selamat petang, sawadika, kamsahamnida, domo konnichiwa, good afternoon. Hola, amigo, que quiero mucho. Merci beaucoup. 还有 Bonjour。法国人喜欢讲 Bon。
The French like to say bon.
蹦来蹦去就。这个
In Chinese sounds like
少记
kidding. Bonjour.
今天呢，特别来到这个
So
桃园这个新这里藏寺，它是
especially
法纪的
come
藏寺。
to Taoyuan,
特
the
别呢，
Faji
今
Lizang
天的
Temple,
主尊啊，
and the main
就
deity
是
today
莲福上师他自己选的，
was selected by Reverend Lian Hu,
韦斯努
which is Vishnu,
跟他的坐骑，这个嘎
the
鲁达
god of protection,
大鹏金身。
and his vehicle, the Garuda, which is the golden wing
先讲他
wing
的坐骑，
great bird Garuda, the legendary bird Garuda.
就是在
Let's talk about Garuda first.
印度时代，这个释迦牟尼佛的时代，
In ancient India, during the era of Sakyamuni Buddha,
这个闲无待志，无待
one
志，
day
焉有莫待志
he had
坐
nothing
在那里的时
to
候，
do. He
有一
was
群这
just
个龙，
sitting
包
idly,
括龙王，
and
在
there
这
was
个
a
座
group
下，坐在
of
释迦牟尼佛
nagas
的
or
座下
dragons, including the
哭
Dragon
得很
King,
惨
cried
佛陀说：“哇，
to Sakyamuni
你们这个
Buddha.
龙主
They sat
到
around
底
the
是什么
Buddha
事情这样子哭泣，
and cried very
哭得那
pitifully.
么惨？”
So the Buddha asked, "Why
龙王就
are
告
you
诉
all crying so
因为
sadly?" And then the Dragon King replied,
以龙为食，
"Because Garuda
嘎鲁达是
eats
大鹏金身
dragons.
他是吃龙的，
So
以龙为食
Garuda's
就是
food
他的
is
每一餐
dragons
他都要吃
or
龙，
naga.
所以龙主越来越少，被吃
So
的差不多快
therefore,
光，
the
越来越少。
dragons are
被
getting
嘎鲁达吃的
less
都快
and
光
less because they were all
求
eaten
这
by
个佛陀
Garudas.
这个帮忙，
So they prayed to the Buddha and
他
asked
就
for
很
help.
慈悲，把双方叫到面前，把
So
龙
the
主
Buddha,
也
with
叫
his
龙王也
compassion,
叫到面前，
called the
把
Dragon
大鹏金
King
翅鸟也叫到面前，
and the whole
这个
Dragon clan and the Garuda
嘎鲁达
to
他
come
说大鹏金翅
forward.
鸟以后
And the Buddha
不要以
asked
龙为食。
Garuda, in the future,
那嘎鲁达
please
讲说，那
don't take the dragons as your food.
然后我吃什么
And
东西？
Garuda asked, then what should I eat then?
那个龙王啊，跟龙主就在旁边哭得很厉害，哭得很凄惨。
But the Dragon King and the Dragon
大家都
family
吓得这个
cried
全
very
身发抖
hard.
那个龙主吓得全身发抖。
They were
然后佛陀
really
就想
scared.
出来了，他说这样子好，
So the Buddha thought of an idea.
以后啊，我叫我的弟子，
In the
你要是
future,
佛教的佛教徒的弟子，
as
以后
long
你甘
as
露水
they are my Buddhist disciples,
甘露
they
水
would make
供养
offering of sweet nectar
以后
to
你
Garuda,
不再吃这个
so that in the future the Garuda will not eat the dragons anymore,
他说
but
我
you
好
will
啊
just
那个
eat
甘露
the
水
sweet
当然比这
nectar,
个比龙还好比这个龙
because the sweet
当家
nectar should
比
be
这个
better
当家
than the dragon or naga.
那以后，他们这个龙主跟嘎鲁达大鹏金翅鸟最严，
So
所以才有那个
the
记
dragons had the pact with the
代天
Garuda.
兵器将
So that's why we have the verse,
罗刹
you know, the great golden winged bird Garuda and all the yaksas and the
目
ghosts,
的所哈，
you are offered and sprinkled with the
就是
sweet
变
nectar
化
to fulfill
大鹏金翅鸟
and give you
旷野
content.
鬼神众，
Om Mudisa,
罗
Om
刹为
Mudisa,
主
Om Mudisa.
甘露系充满，但是这个供养
It's to make offering to Garuda and all the wandering spirits. And you should make this offering outside the temple, not inside the temple. So this offering should be made outside the temple. You should not let them come into the temple. So the great golden winged bird Garuda and the Raksa and all the spirits, this sweet nectar is offered to you to fulfill you. So this is to make offerings to Garuda, so that Garuda doesn't eat the nagas anymore. So there was this legend. So how powerful is the Garuda? Because Garuda eats the dragons. So this year there is a drought in Taiwan. We heard that the water dam has been the driest here. So do we have anybody from the central government here? No? Then nobody is going to help them. The dragons are afraid of the Garuda most. So today here we perform the Dharma of Garuda and Vishnu. So whenever Garuda says a word, the dragons would be scared to death, would pee in their pants, and then the dragons will give rain. So if the Garuda descends and then the Garuda would yell to the dragons, then they would pee and they would give rain to make the rain. So in order to have rain, we can just ask to Garuda and to shout out and to ask the dragons to give rain. But if there is too much rain, you can also call out Garuda to command the dragon kings to go away. Then the rain will stop in this area, although it may rain surrounding it. So the Garuda has the Dhamma practices for asking for rain or stopping the rain. So he's powerful. If you have cancer or tumor, then his beak, you ask him to extend his beak into your body, and to eat up all of the growth. So he could also cure sicknesses. Just now, the sun was bright. And now, what time is it? 5. I thought the Garuda spread his wings and to cover the sun, because before I saw the sun was shining really really strong. So I asked Garuda to spread his wings and to cover, to block the sun shine, because we have so many disciples here in the sun, and especially for the shaved heads, that they may have the skin on the heads peeled. So see how great Garuda is. And the Garuda is the vehicle or the right of Vishnu, which is the god of protection in Hinduism. So the Buddha talks about the heavenly gods too. And according to Hinduism, the Buddha also mentioned in his sutras that Brahma was the creator. And the destroyer is Shiva. And the protector is Vishnu. So those are the three major gods in Hinduism. And they are also the foundation for the Indian philosophy. One is creator and destroyer and protector. So that's the philosophy of Hinduism. One creator god, Brahma, one destroyer god, Shiva, and one protector god, Vishnu. The three gods of Hinduism. And Ganesh, the red Jambala, was the son of Shiva. And together with Shiva was Saraswati. The goddess of marvelous sound. And we have two emanations of Saraswati here. One is the daughter of Mr. James. And the other one is Master Lian Miao. So Saraswati is a great god in Hinduism. She's holding pipa, and Huijin offered the goddess of music, or Saraswati. Wow. The Saraswati that you give to me did not wear any pants. Why? Why did you choose that statue? It's the Tang Dynasty style. So she's not wearing pants? It just so happened you didn't intentionally make it that way? But it's still better to have her naked. So the Saraswati that she gave to me did not wear anything. She covered herself with the pipa, the lute instrument of China, the lute Chinese instrument.
总之啊，我告诉你，今天这个偏净天在印度教里面，他怎么讲？
So Vishnu in Hinduism also has many emanations or manifestations. The ninth emanation, according to Hinduism, the ninth manifestation was Sakyamuni Buddha. That's according to Hinduism, not Buddhism. Buddhism didn't say that. So, what is the greatest? Sakyamuni Buddha had said the greatest one was the one who is in union with the Tao. If you can be in complete union with the utmost universe, then you will be the greatest. If you can be in union with the utmost consciousness of the universe, in complete union with Sakyamuni Buddha, with Adharma Buddha, with the primordial Buddha, then you would be the greatest. And what is the smallest one? Let me ask you. What is the smallest one? So you know about the greatest one, but not the smallest one. So the one in complete union with the ghost is the smallest. In the nether world, in the spirit world, you know about the heavens, several heavens, and then the highest one are the four Sichli realms: Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Prateka Buddhas, and Shravakas. The four Sichli realms that are not bound by reincarnation. And in the spirit world, the lowest level is the ghost. So there are ghosts in hell, and there's hungry ghosts in the hungry ghost realm. And the animals are being reincarnated due to ignorance and stupidity. And then those who are created due to hatred and anger is in the hungry ghost realm. So the ghosts that are born near the hungry ghost hell or animals are the highest, are the lowest kind. So people who have some psychic ability think that they're the greatest, but that's really bullshit. And they may see something and they think it's the heaven and they think it's the greatest. Or they may see some from the ocean and you think that you're the greatest. So the frog in the well thinks that he's the greatest. And then the frog from the ocean would say, but I am from the ocean. And how big is the ocean? Is it as big as my well? No, the ocean has no boundary. And the frog in the well would say that, look at the heaven, is that round circle of the well, that's the heaven. So how big is your ocean? The ocean is millions and billions times bigger than the well. But the frog in the well said, I don't believe it. How could it be? So the frog thinks that he's the king inside the well, and he did not know of the outside world. So the mind is really that small. It's like the frog in the well. So I was talking in Taiwanese, and what you said was in Chinese. So as we know, the three great gods of Hinduism, they have their vehicles. So the Brahma rides on the 5 white geese, and Vishnu rides on Garuda, the great golden-winged bird. And Shiva or Mahaswara rides on a white ox. So that's how it is in Hinduism. So Vishnu is the protection god, and Vishnu has 4 arms, and each of the hands are holding 4 things. One is the Vajra palette for subjugation. There is if you use the palette to hit on the center, that's for subjugation. And the other hand is holding a white lotus. That's the white lotus is for purification. So he has purification dharma practice, and he's also holding a wish-fulfilling sconge that can give out all kinds of treasures, and that's for enhancement. And then one hand is holding the Dharma wheel. And what is the Dharma wheel for? So we have enhancements, purification, subjugation. So the Dharma wheel is to turn the Dharma wheel. So the turning of Dharma wheel is to provide salvation for sentient beings. It's the same as loving and protecting sentient beings. So that's for harmonization or magnetization. So this deity, Vishnu, is truly great. You need to recite 200,000 times of his mantra. You need to recite his mantra. Om Pecha Vishnuya Soha. Om Pecha Garuda Jare Jare Hombe. Om Pecha Vishnuya. Om Pecha Jare Jare Garuda. So after completing 200,000 recitations, you can start your Dharma practice, his Dharma practice. So the greatest Dharma to eradicate cancer and tumor is after you complete 200,000 recitation of Vishnu and Garuda's mantras, you take a beat and then you visualize it to be your cancer or tumor, and in the morning you blow a breath on it and then you place it on the table. And then you recite Om Beta Vishnuya Soha, Om Beta Garuda Jare Jare Homte 7 times. For 20 days, so 1 grain of rice each day for 20 days. 1 grain of rice. And then you take this 20 grains of rice and find the big tree near your house. If there's a hole on the tree, you place those rice inside the hole and then you cover it with a tape. If the tree doesn't have a hole, you can carve a small hole on the tree branch, just sizable enough for the 20 grains of rice. And then you place the rice inside it and then you cover it with tape. And then the tree would have some growth. So the tree has taken over the growth of tumor and cancer from your body. So this is one method. In order to eradicate cancer and tumor. This is a great Dharma. Yeah. Have I taught this before? Yes. Have you heard it before? Yes. But nobody performs because you have to complete 200,000 recitations first. But in order to eliminate the cancer and growth, you work a little harder. So this is how to transform them. So this is the Dharma practice. And for Garuda is to pray for rain or to stop the rain. It's very simple. Let me do some divination. According to my divination, Garuda and Vishnu did come when I was still on the way. When I arrived at the Taoyuan high-speed rail station, they followed us to come here, and they're still here now.
很严重，对不对？
Taiwan has a bad drought now,
有2天哦，
and in Taichung
42个小时哦，都停水。台中今天停水，明天也停水。
they stopped water for 42 hours, and it would influence 143,000 households. They would have no water. And according to Garuda, now it's May. So in this month, this May, there would be rains, big rains in May and June. Also July. Now we have drought, but then we will have flood. So the weather this year is that we first had drought, and then later there would be flood. So we hope the leaders of the country should provide good life to the people.
所以呢，台湾的这样子的，我以前住在台湾，
So I used to live in Taiwan,
台湾本身的
and in the past I never had to worry about the pollution, the air pollution. But this year,
没有一个绿色，
it's been really bad. There was only one day that the air in Taichung City was clear, which is green. Otherwise, it would be like orange or red, or as if we were living in the toxic gas. So how could the people live a good life? But why did we have one day of green? Because it was the Labor Day. And the coal-generated power company was on a break. So there was only one day where the day was green, and the only day that we saw the blue sky and white clouds, that was green. Otherwise, in the Taichung city, it was just days of orange and red flags, or in the toxic air. And then ask the people with severe allergies to be careful. But how? Because there's air everywhere, even in the toilets. And the air will get into the house. Even so, if you wear masks, the face mask, everyone's wearing face masks. How could that be? It's really difficult to breathe wearing the face mask. So especially for the breathing yoga, we all first learn the breathing practice. So if the air is so bad, how can you practice that? With one breathe in like, oh, I almost have asthma. And deep breath to the navel, and the navel is even painful. So last night, the researcher for the medicine, what's her name? Miss PhD, Miss Margaret Lin. she told us,
那个肺腺癌的、气喘的，
those with
全
the
部都增
lung
加。
cancers
这个
and
事情要
asthma
跟那
have
个市长林
increased.
佳龙台中市长林佳龙要反映给台湾市长林佳龙。
And we have
因为
to
最近的肺
make a
腺癌
report
跟
to
气
the
喘
Taichung
病
City
人
mayor.
增加了不知道几成。
So they have multiplied quite a lot.
这不是人民
Those
的
people who suffer from lung cancers and asthma.
所以你一个
So that's not to give good life to the people. So a government should bestow good fortunes and good life to people so they have sun and fresh air and good water.
生命的
These three elements are the most important,
给的话，
the sun, water and the air. But if the government cannot give even those, then ...
你说我还有什么话说？
What else can we say? Tomorrow I'm going back to Seattle
阳光多么漂亮，
and beautiful sun, clear fresh air
清净的
and
下土的水打
fresh water, and you can drink the tap water in Seattle.
我们不用买矿泉水，
We don't have to buy bottled water.
你要喝几杯就几杯。
Every morning you can drink as much as you can. You can drink the tap water, the cleanest,
最干净的
freshest water, the cleanest, freshest air,
在床上就
and the most beautiful sun. And I can see the sunrise laying in bed, on the bed, in bed.
我们希望保护神为师母
We hope that Vishnu, the protector
大
God,
陆大
and we pray to Garuda
帮助台湾这一片土地，
to help Taiwan,
让他们
this piece of land,
幸福
so that they can live a happy and good life.
为师母跟嘎鲁达还有13个法，
Vishnu and Garuda,
为师母
there are 13 Dharma practices belonging to Vishnu and Garuda.
这个师尊以前传法的时候，有把这些法，
When Grandmaster transmit
这些法
this Vishnu Dharma,
应该都在编辑
it included
上面，希望你
all this, and it's in the books and also on the internet.
13经
So once you receive the empowerment,
这13
then you can perform the practice, this 13 Dharma of Vishnu and Garuda.
里面回到自己的国家，也可以帮助自己
And you can help the people of your homeland.
香港，可以帮助香港，
You can go back home.
在中国。
If you're in Taiwan, you can help Taiwan, or you go back to China, you help China, or Hong Kong, Malaysia, Indonesia, Australia,
北美、南美、
North America, South America, Central America,
象
Africa.
牙海岸有一个堂，
We had a chapter on the Ivory Coast and also in South Africa
科威特，
and also in Kuwait. We have chapters there in Kuwait.
我们希望非洲的国家
And we hope that the African countries would also have peace and good life there too. That's all for today. Om Mani Padme.
我们再一次以最热烈的掌声感恩师尊。
So now let's give a round of applause to show our utmost
今天晚
gratitude to
上
His
有
Holiness.
谢师宴，那么欢迎大家晚上都可以
And we have a gratitude dinner banquet tonight.
桃园有一个
We hope that you come and participate. And in a moment there will be the Vishnu and Garuda empowerment, and this ends the English interpretation today. Thank you very much.
就像刚才师尊所说的，可以修13个经法，包括治癌瘤法。我们现在准备，师尊比手印啊，这是遍经天及大鹏金翅鸟的手印。大家看清楚哈，手指张开，大拇指相勾，食指相触，10个手指啊都张开来。